Today we're going to be covering one of my favorite topics because I got asked this question as a comment in my YouTube channel. Let me read it to you. I would love to see a video for people who don't want to be an entrepreneur, but want to become more entrepreneurial in their career. What entrepreneurial talents, values, and techniques could benefit every man, and how could they be applied to a specific profession? Let's answer that.
Material witness after
Throughout my organization, the values that I care about the most are those values that make RSD a lot of money through being very entrepreneurial and being the better man in everything we do. Let me explain what that means. The core value of Real Social Dynamics, more than any other value, is actually the principle that in every interaction, whatever we do, we're always the better man. To give you some specifics, if I'm a sales guy and I'm trying to sell someone something, whether it's a gadget or a widget or what have you. I'm trying to offer as much value before I even sell anything to that person so they want to buy from me. They want to do a relationship with me. They want to have that business transaction or business relationship. So if I was in the sales position and somebody wanted to get a specific widget, I would be trying to throw in as much bonuses, as much features and benefits, as much value to that person. So somebody who, say, wants to take advantage of a special opportunity to go to, say, a program like Vegas Immersion, I might offer them a chance to take part in a special webinar or something else as added value or bonus. Or when you're actually there as the instructor, if he's going to be that better man, he's going to be somebody who offers that value by saying, okay, this person here, he came all the way from Europe. He's spending a whole month with me. I appreciate this guy. Let me try to give this guy some special attention, special sessions, and how I interact with that person. The whole customer service experience is going to be from me viewing myself as the guy who's going to try to give as much as I can to that other person. I'm going to be that better person. And that is the way you make true money from Real Social Dynamics. We have that as a deep ingrained core value. In our marketing materials, it's basically us giving away so much free content that's better than every other competitor in the market. If you go to YouTube or you go to Snapchat, you want to follow our lives through all the various social media out there, even on our email list or our social media on RSD Nation, the amount of value you get from that technology in RSD Nation in and of itself costs us hundreds of thousands of dollars. It is probably the primary reason why during the recession we went $500,000 in debt, just investing in that technology. But that is the risk that we're able to take, that entrepreneurial mindset that we have. We're willing to risk so much because we believe that you are going to love what we do. When you follow it, you're going to say, wow, this is amazing. And I think that when you're in any job, that's what you have to be out there. You also use that to think outside the box continually. Another thing that I look at in terms of entrepreneurship is I look at a profession like, say, a doctor. Is this guy going to say, these are your options, these are scenarios? Or is he kind of limit the scope and saying, it's got to be this or this, it's highly unlikely this? Is he going to, I would prefer a doctor that says, you know, it looks like it's like this. This is the potential issue you have. This is the recommendations. These are the things I believe that's going to help you the most. And here's why. However, you know, there's all these various ideas, and I wouldn't limit yourself because there's all sorts of new things that happen. I hate it when I hear a doctor who'll come up and say, you know, it's impossible for it to have any other solution or any other medication prescription if it's not one of these fine things. I hate it when an attorney says, do not do the specific thing because I would not do the specific thing. I want to hear an attorney says, I believe it's your best interest to do this, but you let me know what your goals are because we'll come up with a solution no matter what it is. Because I believe very deeply that anything is possible. You just need to set your mind to it. Anything is possible. And when I oftentimes talk about entrepreneurialism, I'm usually talking about that social experimentation mindset, that thinking outside the box mindset. Because when I think about a particular idea, when I'm listening to, say, formal education ideas, like I'm in business school, or I'm listening to concepts about, say, travel and marketing and business, I'm not just listening to it because I'm listening to the guy and he's saying, you should do X, Y, and Z. When I'm hearing X, Y, Z, I'm saying, okay, this guy believes X, Y, Z. What ABC things can I do that are variations of X, Y, Z that could take things to the next level? I appreciate when people from operations or logistics come to me and they come up with these off-the-raw ideas that have nothing to do with their job. Somebody who's in logistics might refer a specific technology to me, refer specific marketing ideas to me, and I might turn that guy down. I might accept it. But if I turn the guy down or I accept it, either way, I'm very appreciative of those ideas. If I look at RSD instructors, I'll help them create business administrations for themselves. So even though they're not the entrepreneur that created the business, they feel like they own the business with us as partners because they can build their administrations. In fact, when I come to RSD World Summit, I don't even know what instructors are talking about most of the time. I just trust them because I've got the right people in the right position. I got people that are on top of their game, continually innovating and continually taking things to the next level. And that's what we're always looking for. If I look at cameramen, I'm looking at, are they gonna come up with new ideas for video? Are they gonna come up with really interesting ways to integrate music or new B-roll? Or are there interesting features that they use to make things time-lapse or speed into the future, making things look more like a feature film? These are the creative solutions I look for. I guess when I think of entrepreneurialism, outside of being an entrepreneur, is I think of those creative things that are not in a box, not like in that refined box where you're basically taking very low risk. So if I look at, say, an investment advisor, I've had many investment advisors. I've been an investment advisor myself. You're given scripts, specific things you can and cannot sell. And you'll basically tell your clients, these are the particular things you can and cannot get through our company. If I look at, say, a more creative guy, a guy who's, say, not locked into that mindset, I might want to hear more creative solutions. Now, not every business, not every investment advisor, not every position fosters creativity and entrepreneurialism, but they should. And then if I'm looking for someone who's an investment advisor and that guy is talking to me about these specific canned products, and I say, hey, these are the things I'm looking for in my business, what can I do? Whether it's something that you could sell me or not, I'd really appreciate your help. And even if they don't end up being my investment advisor, I'm more inclined to refer business to them because I know that they got my back. They were going to create customized and personalized solutions for me, meant for me, regardless of the standards or institutions out there. If I look at the press and the mainstream media, they are so often ingrained in the traditional moral values of what you can and cannot preach. Many large enterprises will preach about their businesses and the values that they have in such generic ways not to offend people because they're concerned that the controversy of what they may or may not say to other people will piss people off. RSD has never been about that. We speak exactly what's on our mind. We love partnering with people who are more like that. We'll partner with those people that can help us, even if they don't have the same values as us, but they have the same values. The values of saying what we mean, saying what we think, saying what we believe is truth, and getting it out there because we believe it's going to help you to the maximum, whether or not it follows the traditional religious values or traditional morals. We'll get it out there to you because we believe it's going to help you, regardless of whatever the standards are out there. That's why we're able to grow so fast. We create RSD also as those real world situations at work, and we'll say and show you that works, and that's why we made ourselves this global brand. If you look at why we created Real Social Dynamics in the beginning, we wanted to create a culture where every single person who worked for us believed in the same overall values, that we wanted real world results from real world experience. And as a result of us creating this company, we've created just that. And it upset a lot of people who don't see the fact that a lot of the guys that we teach like the hookup culture. They like hooking up with girls as opposed to just getting into marriages right away or just long-term relationships. For some reason, people sometimes intertwine dating, meaning that dating means you got to be in a long-term relationship or going towards marriage. I know a lot of people that have great dating tips. They're able to successfully build attraction and build rapport. I married myself. I also know those people that are not married that are able to get amazing results, better than those people just preaching. A lot of people are great at preaching dating advice, but they're not actually applying it in their day-to-day real world life. Same thing in business, same thing in anything else. You got to practice what you preach. That's how you make money. whether you're a business owner, whether you're not a business owner, whether you're working for an organization that fosters entrepreneurialism, or whether you got to be that pioneer that takes things to the next level. Because when you're someone who's fostering that entrepreneurial mindset, it comes with these new and innovative ideas, you might piss people off who love the status quo. Some people will hate just the idea of you requesting something from them that's new because they don't want to be able to think. They want to follow the same things that they've always done because it worked a certain way. They don't want to risk not having it work a certain way and take things to the next level. We've never been like that because we know that the times are always changing, whether it's in technology, whether it's in marketing, whether it's innovation of content. And as a result, you got to always think about the new things. For example, you look at what we're doing on YouTube. It's a great platform for marketing. But we're always getting into the other platforms like Instagram, Snapchat, or anything else in the future. And as a result of staying on top of the new technology, when some of the technology, like MySpace, used to be our thing back in the day, now people aren't using it as much. It's very, very minuscule in terms of what it used to be. And you got to continually stay on that edge, whether it's the new trends in marketing, whether it's the new way of even creating and marketing your product. Look at, say, Best Buy compared to Radio Shack. A lot of people who know who Best Buy is because they're large chains throughout America. Whereas Radio Shack was your local store, the size of a convenience store, selling the exact same thing. Or you look at Kodak, who is selling these Polaroid cameras. And now you have cameras that are now in digital format, and they just didn't get on it fast enough. You look at computers, and how computers like IBM were just not innovating fast enough. And then Apple took over the market and innovated things to the next level. Or companies that had stylus. And now you have companies that could just use your fingers. You can use all your fingers, like on an iPhone, as opposed to a Sony Clie. You got to look at all the ways you can product and package your product in a new way. So if you're involved with manufacturing, you got to always think about how to improve it, take it to the next level. Even if you believe that management won't like it. If management doesn't like it, maybe management will like it. You don't want to offend people by stepping over people's toes. At the same time, you want to share your thoughts with people regardless. You don't want people to tell you what you can and cannot say to their people. That's just you sharing your ideas. And the innovation of ideas out there, even in management, when you're trying to manage your teams, it's got to be very creative. Now, if someone's going to try to allocate huge budgets to R&D and research and development and things that are very expensive, I'm not always a fan of that. If they're going to get interns and volunteers and help me build that from a mindset where we could afford it, or if I've dedicated a budget and they go underneath budget, then I definitely will appreciate that. So you got to take those kind of things financially into consideration. Because if we look at RSD, and there's so many things we want to invest in, all sorts of technology, new cameras, new lenses, new people we want to hire, new offices we want to set up and establish, new warehouses, new visions that we need to take to get RSD to become that larger enterprise and establish that huge brand that I want to have established and that huge influence that Tyler wants to establish for our market and also the markets we want to break into. It requires so much innovation. It requires everybody to be entrepreneurial. As a result, I have fostered RSD to do that. Even within the company itself, I've created subsidiaries. So many people within an organization can be the president of their own subsidiaries and help build within the team. They're not on their own. They're within a team, but they can feel like they have some control. They can feel like they can take things to the next level. And they do have the power and ability to do that because we've given them that push, that motivation, that freedom to take things to the next level. If you want to be somebody who's successful, somebody who's rich, somebody who's powerful, when you want to be that better man, you want to basically, in every situation, never expect that when you're in that mindset of giving yourself to the next person, that you're going to basically expect something that's going to get back to you. You want to just do it because that's how you treat and view the world. There's times where I'll invest a lot of money in people, several months' pay, not knowing whether or not that person has any skill to take what I want and turn it into something that's a product or result that I believe is going to help me and take things to the next level. But I'm willing to invest in them because I believe that even if I just gave them that money, if I believe that there's somebody who has a chance of inspiring me or basically having an experience with me that may innovate things to the next level, even that chance of just interacting with that person, even if they don't come to the solution themselves, I might come up with a new solution. I might come up with a new idea. And even if I do or don't, even if they've made a mistake or even if they hurt me in the process, I don't necessarily use it as like a situation not to take a risk. I'm always taking a risk, a profit to innovate, take things to the next level. That's the way to truly become rich. If you want to be the better man in a situation, you got to look at even the tough times. For example, when I've had people that multiple times have embezzled from me, straight up, taken money and stolen it from me, siphoned it to other accounts, not even associated with me. I've still given these guys to work it off. Most companies would just axe them. I have axed many people, whether they're executives or low-level people, because they have done just that. But we've established a culture where our company is such a brotherhood that sometimes it's difficult for other people to believe that it was possible for them to be that bad of a person. So I give them a second chance to actually make it up and work it off sometimes. Sometimes I just can't do that. I've had times where I've been ripped off for way too much money. I just got to cut them out of my lives, regardless of whether they're a high-level innovator or whether they're not. But when they do that, my first reaction when someone steals from me isn't, I instantly want to retaliate. I want to retaliate like a mafia lord in the sense that I want to get my value back, but I'm not looking at it from the mafia lord perspective like I'm going to hunt the guy down and kill the guy. I'm looking at it from the mafia lord as it is probably just business. People who establish friendships with me, if they take money from me, I don't necessarily believe, okay, this is a personal attack against me. They're probably doing it because on a business level, it's business. These are extreme views, I gotta say. These are just my own views. But the thing is, if somebody's taking money from me, if I could get a situation where they could work it off or have a chance of working it off, I gave them that chance. That's the first instinct I have. Then I've had that for many years. That is not the initial instinct I have anymore. Now I usually am like, okay, if a guy's doing that to me, I'm probably not gonna trust him, I have to cut him off. And I'm probably not caring as much about the value. But I've always come from this place. I've always come from the mindset that I want to be that better man. I want to be the better person in any interaction. Some of my friends may take offense to it. It's like too much. For example, when I go out to dinner, I oftentimes treat everyone. I've even had friends say, look, Nick, you're always treating. I don't feel like I'm contributing here sometimes. And if you're not going to let me treat you next time, I'm not going to be your friend anymore. I was like, wow. And he was dead serious. He looked pissed. And the thing is, I've done that to the point I've also had friends say, look, Nick, you shouldn't just always try to one-up our friendship, try to offer so much value. I'm trying to give back value to me. I have a friend who's my golf coach, and he also is a personal trainer for my wife, still is. And he comes over to my house every month, and he is the best chef in the city of Las Vegas as well. He's also a PGA Tour golf coach, but he cooks the most epic meals and tastings and hosts. And I've always tried to give back to him because I feel like I'm just giving so much. So I'm always trying to give back to him. But he told my wife, Nick is always trying to one-up with me and the value that he tries to give me. He doesn't need to worry about that. And the funny thing is, I'm not even thinking like that. I wasn't even thinking about one-upping. I was just thinking, I'm trying to offer more value to everyone. I'm a very generous, nice guy. At the same time, I'm tough. When it comes to standards, I'm not going to allow people to basically just walk over me. If I believe that they're taking too much value, I'm going to cut them out of my life. If they've robbed me, I'm probably going to get the federal authorities or local authorities involved. I'm probably going to prosecute unless they're going to pay me back and compensate me, and I could avoid that through civil settlements. And I also will do that for people that are basically, abusing the process of how they work. Let's say that somebody who's not, we used to have a system where people could just work on their own all around the world and have that freedom to do whatever they want because we encourage that entrepreneurship. When you can work from home, they can work while they're traveling. But we initially couldn't track them. And they just emailed us what they did and showed us results. They're doing good results. It's great. Now we have a solution called Time Doctor. It's a solution that tracks what they do and they can log in and track their time. And these kind of things allow us to prevent that lack of control system. So every single business has to have a control system. So if somebody shirks their duties or shirks their responsibilities to you, you have a situation where as a manager, you're in check. And I love it when guys who are seeing what they're doing and they're seeing that they're not in check and they propose solutions to me to help keep them in check because it's something that I could put to other people and say, look, these are solutions that will allow us to help this business grow. Because when the business grows, everyone makes more money. If I make more money, you make more money. And that's how I want my business to work. That's how I want everything to work even within our customer base. If the customers get more value and it improves their life for the better, my life goes for the better because they're more likely to become repeat customers. If you look at RSD as a business, the majority of our company is repeat business, not new business. Most of it's word of mouth too. We're spending almost $0 in advertising. It's amazing. Build a global brand spending very little money. Every month you might spend a few $100s in advertising. It's so little, so minuscule. It used to be a point where you spend thousands of dollars a day on cold traffic and cold advertising on Google AdWords and various advertising platforms. We might go back to some of that, but it's nowhere near as profitable as focusing the amount of limited resources we presently have in our business. Because even though we're going from like a small business to like a mid-sized business, We're not like those large 9-figure enterprises yet that are kind of like just able to throw money at problems and experiment things in a very big budget way. We've built budget. So if you're working for a company that is a big budget, you still need to build budgets and make sure you're under budget, because even though a lot of companies are willing to do those risks, when you're successful in a larger company, it's huge. I mean, I know guys who work for other people, they're not the business owner, but they make way more money than people that are business owners. Even companies who have other 8-figure businesses and they're going to 9-figure businesses and they're ramping up their company and growing. Because they're taking things in that entrepreneurial mindset to the next level. I remember reading an article from the CEO of Home Depot, and he said he wants every manager, every general manager, every division manager, every regional manager to be an entrepreneur in the sense that he's entrepreneurial. I mean, there's only one founder of a company most of the time. There might be a few founders, but it's not like everyone in the company founded the company. They're not all the entrepreneurs, but everyone should be entrepreneurial within my business. And I encourage every organization or every business owner, every CEO to encourage that same mindset. Of course, there's gotta be standards. If you're a new business and you haven't established legit standards that have proven to work, then you're in trouble, because you don't want to deviate so far from those field-tested actions that have field-tested results that are great and make it so that everything just continues just changing all the time. Those things that work, you want to keep working. If I have something that I field test doesn't work, I scrap it, I go back to those ideas that work. But I want to find those things that work first so I have a default solution. Some of our marketing campaigns for our summits have historically been very successful and we've innovated many times. And sometimes they've flopped. And when it flops, I'm going to try to go back for those original ideas. The bottom line is, I want you to think about how you can be more entrepreneurial in your business life and also in your personal life. Because in my personal life, if I have a situation and my family needs help with something, I'm going to do research. I'm not going to say, oh, this particular advisor, who's your doctor, your dentist, your fitness instructor, your yoga instructor, whatever, told you one specific thing and it's risky. I'm going to help my family. I'm going to help my friends look into alternatives, or I'll try to justify it. People come to me, they'll say, my attorney recommended this, and this is going to affect me personally in a very big level. What do you think? And I want them to come to me because they come to me because they know I think outside the box. I'm not going to just listen to one person's thoughts, even if he's a major authority, and there's many major authorities, media, etc. I'm going to look at them and I'm going to think to myself, well, whether it's a personal thing or it's a business thing, is this solution a solution that's going to work? If it's not a solution that's going to work, I will find a solution that works. I don't care how long it takes, there's always a way. There's times where there's limits. You got to accept your limitations. However, 99.9% of the time, when you think there's a limit, there's a solution to that limit. Please subscribe to my channel, write your comments below, and I'd love to answer any of your topics or questions in future videos. Cheers.